Hello, welcome to the second of three S3 BGE literacy lessons. And remember, we're focusing on grammar, RUI, and text annotation activities. This is a differentiated version, and there should be a worksheet that accompanies this as well. Make sure it's the correct worksheet, and if not, please let your teacher know and we will sort it out for you. We're going to start with an imagery refresher. Now, your teacher will give you a link to a Desmos card sorting activity. It's the same thing you've used, I think, quite a lot in social subjects. The answer key will change to yes once you've correctly matched the technique to the example. Now, the link might also be in your team's assignment or on your team, but we'll make sure we get it to you. If you can't find it, again, please contact us and we will get you that link. Okay, once you've completed that activity, let's move on to doing our grammar. And today we're going to look at the difference between to, and to. So just as a reminder, to is to show motion. I am going to eat that banana. To, T-O-O, means also or extremely. The banana was too old. To, T-W-O, is the number 2. Luckily, there were 2 more in the football. There is a 2, 2 and 2 activity on your worksheet that accompanies this video, so please pause the video now and complete that activity. Let's move on then to reading for understanding, analysis and evaluation. I know you might have already completed the Desmos activity, but again, just a little refresher about imagery. A simile is when you compare one thing to something else, making the comparison clear using like or as. Personification is when you give an inanimate object human qualities. And metaphor is when you compare one thing to something else by saying it is the other thing. And remember, when you analyse imagery, you start by explaining what it literally means, and then your second bullet point would be what the writer actually meant. We're moving on now to identifying sound effects. And we're going to focus on 2 sound effects today. We're going to look at alliteration. And remember, alliteration is the repetition of a particular letter sounds. She sells seashells on the seashore. Peter Piper picked a pickled pepper. Can't really remember that one off the top of my head. But that would be alliteration. And it's usually used to draw your attention to an idea or help you remember an idea. Onomatopoeia, and remember that's when the word sounds like the sound it is describing, like bang or crash. It's used to mimic a particular sound and it can grab the reader's attention to a particular point or event in the text. There is an identifying sound effect activity on your worksheet, so if you pause the video and do that now, that would be great. Let's look at analysing sound effects then. So an example here would be the waves crashed on the beach. The writer has used onomatopoeia to allow the reader to hear what the writer could hear, making the scene more vivid. Next one, the top team triumphed. The writer has used alliteration to make the headline stand out and draw the reader's attention to the article, which was all about the winning team in a competition. So if you go and finish the sound effects activity and look at how you could explain why a technique has been used. Let's move on then to annotating a text. Sorry, I should have said you should have paused the video at that point to complete all the sound effects activities. So pause the video and then we'll move on to annotating a text. And we're going to be using On the Sidewalk Bleeding by Edwin Morgan, which is one of my favourite poems. Remember that annotation is an important skill. It's used to identify techniques and make notes beside the techniques. And remember, you can use the drawing tools and insert text boxes to do this. So if you complete the annotation activity that is on your worksheet just now, if you have any problems in doing that, please let me know and we'll come up with a solution. Pause the video and do that now. Finally, we have our extension task. So you don't have to do this, but if you would like to, you have to reread the poem and make notes about it. And then at the bottom of your Word document, just add a new section in, explain what the poem is about and add your opinion. Remember, if you want to chat to a teacher live about this, then you can do that on the live call. If you want to just ask a question you think would benefit others, you could just tag your teacher in Teams. Or if you want to ask a question you don't want anyone else to hear, you could email your teacher. And remember, it's just your teacher's Glow name at glow.sch.uk. So just as a reminder, for this lesson we looked at 2, 2 and 2. We then did a refresher about imagery just to make sure that you're comfortable with that, but keep going back to that and keep using the Desmos activity if you want to help you. We covered sound effects today and why sound effects are used in particular situations, and we continued with our annotation skills. Bye for now.